Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I am here with Mitch Rushing, and Mitch is running for Kentucky House for District 49, right? It says so right there. Thanks for putting that up for us,
Yeah, I
Mitch.
thought it would work better this go around. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know you're all going to want to help Mitch. One thing you can do right out of the gate to help Mitch is like, comment, share. Especially if you live in or around District 49, which is, of course, in
Bullitt County.
Bullitt County. There you go. And we're going to be talking about Bullitt County a little bit tonight. But first, Mitch, what just generally motivated you to get yourself on the ballot?
Well, essentially, I'm a busy person. I don't have a lot of time. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I don't see a lot of good representation here in Bullitt County. There's some issue. There's huge issues going around here, and I've seen one blurb from one of our the current rep, and where he had planned to do something for 2020, and I just have not seen that yet. In addition to that, I like the idea of having some choices on the ballot. Too many times there's just the two groups that are available, and everyone tries to be put into these two groups, but there's a lot more people than just two people.
Right, and of course you and I like choice.
I love choice.
We're choice people. But those two groups, they always kind of rail against it, and it's kind of to their own detriment, because they get into the gotta vote the lesser evil thing in the general. They also suffer from that in the primaries, and I hate the lesser evil. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I want us people to be more liberated to vote for us, which I do.
Right.
But I mean, just whoever. I mean, like I don't agree with Green candidates on a whole lot, but if somebody wants to vote for a Green candidate, I don't want them afraid that
not represented. I like the idea of people being able to identify in some context of where they're going. Everybody is. I'm not a word. I'm not a name. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I am an individual, and I like to have my own individual choices.
Absolutely. Now, if they send me to Washington, there's not actually anything I can do about that, because that's controlled by the state. So I'm guessing you're going to be trying to do something about that in Frankfort. Is that one of your passions, or?
Yeah, I would like to do something like that. I'd like it to be easier for us to qualify for ballots and to qualify for certain debates and those type of things. I think it should be open to people with more than just two different views on a subject, and everybody's allowed to have an opinion, and everybody's got a different viewpoint, and not everyone is the same, and not everybody can be categorized into these two different spots.
Right. We need a greater diversity of perspectives and ideas, potential solutions. That's awesome. Yeah, and James is pointing out, if you're voting for the lesser evil, you're still voting evil. That's a fair point. So a lamp just died, which I'm not real troubled about, except I smell something. I know this is crazy, but let me go check, make sure I'm not about to have a fire here. Wow. Well, that's something you don't get on Bloomberg or CNN is, hey, let me go check the stage lighting to make sure nothing's on fire. So you mentioned there was a lot going on in Bullitt County. You wanna share some of that?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that's going on in around the parts is the LG&E pipeline out. There's really the mid-southern part of Bullitt County. And it seems like it's been proposed for a single customer, and that's eminent domain in itself is never a good idea. I disagree with it on principle. I believe that you should be able to buy property, own property, and live on that property and do what you want on that property. However, the current laws that we have allow for the state to dictate that we can take your property from you if we deem it a public necessity.
Right.
However, it seems like this deal was specifically done by Jim Beam so that they get the benefit. They want the pipeline. They asked for it so that they can expand their facilities, and brought it to LG&E,
right,
who in turn brought it to the Kentucky regulators, who in turn accepted, which it's in the courts now. I'm not exactly sure where it's fallen, but they are essentially wanting us, the taxpayers or the LG&E users, to pay for it.
So let me make sure I have this. So Jim Beam wants to take land from people, whether they want to sell it or not, and they want the taxpayer. Well, they want the LG&E customers to pay for the pipeline too.
Well, originally they brought it to LG&E, and LG&E said it's going to cost $25 million, whatever it was, and I guess the LG&E or Jim Beam didn't want to pay for it, so it went back to LG&E, and LG&E took it back to the taxpayers to have them pay it.
Yeah, that's convoluted, man.
Yeah. But I've not seen much representation on it. I've not heard much from the government officials around here trying to warn the people or try and do anything to help alleviate it or help people understand why it should be really done.
Right. Now, is this the same land grab that relates to Bernheim Forest, or is this a different land grab?
No, that's the same one. It was the everybody's seen the Save Bernheim Forest, but if you didn't go, check out the website or whatever, you might not know. But that's all for them, the LG&E using eminent domain to grab land from Bernheim Forest. But in addition, it's going through, personal property, from several different people, going through. I think it's going through a cemetery and various other places that it just seems kind of fishy.
I mean, I understand you can get into a little extra cost routing around a cemetery, but I mean, really, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right. And I heard someone argue that they could have followed existing right of way. I think it was Randall Daniel that was telling me they could have followed basically alongside the road existing right of way and got there. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not. I would assume they could have done that. I don't know why they chose not to, or other than the cost, because it's going to add extra miles to the pipeline and it'll end up costing more money or what have you. I'm sure that factors a lot into it.
So this isn't really a matter of, well, we need infrastructure to grow and thrive and as a people, and the only way to do that is to grab these people's land because they won't possibly sell it to us at what they perceive to be a fair price. There's a way we could already do it, but it's cheaper if we just take these people's land.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what's going through a lot of people's minds. And
right.
obviously Jim Beam didn't want to pay for it, so
Sure.
who else is going to pay for it? LG&E is not just going to flip the bill without sending it down the line to everybody who pulls electricity from one way or another, or pulls gas from one way or another.
Right, right. And I mean, that's the thing. It reminds me, and I've referenced this in a video before. It's just, it was so profound to me when this guy said it, is after the BP oil spill, they were talking about caps on damages, because I think the cap on damages for oil spill was like 76 million or something like that. And I mean, that wasn't even close to the damages.
Right.
And there was some Republican that was saying, well, you got to have caps on damages because otherwise the insurance would be so expensive, it wouldn't be affordable to do.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. If it's not affordable to do, don't do it.
Exactly. If it's not affordable to do, don't do it. If it's not affordable to run to buy the land, peacefully
at a good price. But some of the stuff that really sinks is like they're cutting through people's lands. Some people have 100 acres. Well, they cut right through the middle of it. So you essentially cut them off from their other half of the land. It's like,
right.
You gotta, even if there is a real public need.
This isn't just like a buried pipeline that's going to be out of the way. This is going to.
I believe this is going to cut off through people's lands. I'm not sure how you could bury in some of these situations, but
oh, that is nasty. Sure. I mean,
but yeah. I don't know that for sure. I'm not exactly 100% sure on what they're going to do.
Yeah, the state built a road through my grandmother's land, and one of the things that's I got the plats around here somewhere, but one of the things that's really striking is there's like this little 1/3 of an acre corner that got lopped off in one place. And it's funny because in the county it's in, like you're not allowed to do that. Like if I wanted to lop off that 1/3 of an acre, it might not be a 1/3.
Right.
But if I wanted to lop off a 1/3 of an acre, they wouldn't let me do that. The minimum in that county, it's Lincoln County. The minimum in Lincoln County is an acre, and I know that because my grandmother in her will, she wanted this carved out for this niece and this carved out for that niece, and it turns out what she had in mind in her will
wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah. Right.
So we had to jump through a bunch of hoops, and we ended up making it work, but it was really bizarre. But state wants to glop off this 1/3 of an acre. And it's like a 1/3 of an acre on a steep incline. There's not even road access to it. I mean, it's beside a road, but it's not like they built a little access point or anything. There's nothing you can do with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can ever do with that. But Randall says it's about 3 feet deep. So maybe it's not that bad. Randall, you got to get on here sometime and talk to us more about the details. For people who don't know, Randall did a lot with the Save Bernheim stuff. So, but
and everybody vote for Randall because he is phenomenal.
That's right. And we have 3 candidates right in a row there, right?
Right.
It's
Jacob Clark, or Randall, Daniel, and me. And,
that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice having somebody around like Randall, because he is one of the sharpest guys that I've dealt with in a long time.
Yeah. Randall's great. But we're gonna have 3 in a row. It's gonna be like a little gold wall there.
Let's hope it works out well.
Can't plow if it's 3 feet below.
3 feet below, yeah. So.
Okay.
There's part of the problem of cutting off, and also there's sinkholes and everything else that's going on there in Kentucky, and who knows what's.
And I mean, some people just don't like living near a gas line.
Well, yeah, especially out in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody really around. How often are these things actually getting looked at, and are they doing the proper maintenance on it and whatnot? I know you've seen stuff in the news all over where there's
I got to see one live once.
Oh yeah.
I was in 7th grade, and a gas line in Garrett County exploded. That's in my district, Garrett County. People, you know where I'm at. I know about your gas line explosion. Vote for me. But it's just a huge column of fire. And my dad called and was telling the company that they had a blowout, and their response was, "We know. Where is it?" Which sounds ridiculous, but when you got these long lines, you can see the pressure at one end, you can see the pressure at the other end, and you know what pipe it's on, but you don't know where it's at.
Right.
And this was the 80s. Hopefully this has improved a little since then. I was maybe 2 or 3 miles from it as the crow flies, and you literally could have taken a book outside and read it. I mean, it was just a huge column of fire. Right. But yeah, I can see where somebody might not want to live next to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good for property values. So it's not even just the sliver of land that you can't plow anymore.
Right.
Similar line blew up.
There in Oldham County. That's right. That wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. So did you have anything else you wanted to cover, Mitch?
No, I think those are the main points. Unless you got anything else to cover.
Anybody have any questions for Mitch?
Yeah, shoot.
I'm not seeing any. Well, one thing I know is Mitch isn't actually looking for donations at the moment, and I caught him a little bit early.
Definitely. Any donations, I suggest those be funneled towards Brad Barron or the Robert Perry.
Yeah, so you can go to bradbarron2020.com and donate to Brad. And we sure would like enough money for KAT to put him on stage. KAT, for these debates, KAT will not put a senator on stage unless people have donated $100,000 to them. So if you want to see a third set of ideas on stage with Mitch McConnell and whoever he ends up running against. Did that get settled the last few hours? But if you want to see a third set of ideas on stage, well, from my perspective, it's a second set of ideas.
From my perspective, I would pay money, and I have. I want to see Brad Barron debate McConnell. I think that would be phenomenal. And
Rushing not only isn't asking for your money, he's just basically asking you to match what he's donated already. So yeah, by all means, go give some money for Brad Barron, and then the other fine option. I really have to compliment your taste on this one, Mitch. The other fine option Mitch referenced is Perry 4KY. You can go to Perry 4KY, slide me a little money. I would love that. I do boost some of this stuff. So like, I do actually spend money on this stuff. This isn't all free. So, and I'm not working this year. So, I basically took the year off to do this. So it's not like I have a lot of income. So help me out if you would. But definitely and there's $50,000 if you want to put me on stage. I might be the affordable option, but definitely go give money to Brad, get Brad on stage. I think that's all we have for you. So, wait, one more comment. Oh, Randa wants to know where we can get a sign or sticker.
Well, go to rushing4ky.com and I'll have something on there sometime soon.
Well, hang on a second. Let me make sure they get that link. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't going to put it there because
it's still a work in progress.
Right. You know, I asked Mitch, I'm like, should I get it out to him? And it's like, nah, we're still working on it. But okay, I'll put it in the comments anyway. And that's where you would go for rushing4ky.com. And a lot of that work was done by Kyle O'Donnell, and he's done several of our sites. So,
and he got the signs for me and some.
Kyle's workhorse.
Oh, Kyle is phenomenal.
Yeah, but Mitch and I are both in technology, and sometimes with people in technology, you get the effect like mechanics in their cars. So we're always working on somebody else's and not doing our own. All right. Thanks for joining us, Mitch. I hope everyone has a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.